Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, February 20th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a Time for Change call this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about the mirroring effect on what's happening on this planet between the forces of light and forces of dark. What everybody better be aware of. Nothing matters so much that we should throw ourselves into a state of panic about it. No happening is so important that we should let ourselves be exiled from inner peace and mental calm for its sake. Paul Brunton. There's one thing in this life that we are all scared of. It's fear. Yet is fear really something we need to run away from, like a coward, and avoid? What would happen if we opened up, embraced fear, and gave fear a big cozy hug? It probably needs one by now, don't you think? The moment we turn inside and embrace whatever we are afraid of, something magical happens. You find the willingness to make anything happen. When you can move into fear, through fear, and out the other side, then becomes fearless. When you can move into fear, through fear, and out the other side, then becomes fearless. Fear becomes as frightening as a shadow, an imaginary obstacle blocking the light of our own radiant being. The truth is that all fear is illusionary. We know false evidence appearing real. Our fears in this life are simply negative thought about our future wrapped up with contracted body sensations. Fear is a mental fabrication created by emotional needs that haven't been met. Fear is a mental fabrication created by emotional needs that haven't been met. When we know ourselves as the source of love itself, then fear doesn't stand a chance in our lives. When we know ourselves as the source of love itself, then fear doesn't stand a chance in our lives. When fear rises, it becomes something we get to deal with. I say get to because, you see these feelings as opportunities to push you deeper inside into the source of love. Fear forces us to feel what's at the innermost core of our being. This is the only place in this universe where we will find true everlasting love, peace, safety, security, and the highest spiritual growth we could possibly ask for. Everything else we look will find life to be quite illusory and always changing on us. It's good to know that fear is the hidden key to one of the greatest mysteries of this life. This is the mystery of mastering your existence. Once you've discovered how to overcome fear, you know what real trust and faith is. This deeper level of trust is what gives you complete mastery over your life. Embracing your fear requires that you step into your power and rediscover that deeper connection to the source of trust, love, and deep gratitude that you have inside. Letting in the fear is the one thing we all need to push us deeper inside, past our comfort zones, so we uncover the spiritual being living within us. It's exactly what we need to transcend the limiting human condition we are all facing. Once we start embracing fear, we will know how to make decisions. Making the right decision in life, in this life, takes being willing to make the wrong decision. It requires that we are truly fearless and willing to be wrong about anything, so that this life becomes a massive cosmic learning adventure. If and when you want to be confident about every decision you make, simply step back to see your life from the grand scope of things on a soul level. There truly is no such thing as a wrong decision. It just might take us a little bit longer to reach our final destination if we choose left instead of right. When we remember that we are eternal beings on an infinite journey through life, it doesn't matter. We won't break a sweat on the small stuff because we will realize it's all small stuff. When all decisions come from this fearless place that knows we are on an infinite journey, we will ultimately initiate choices that only result in playful, positive, enjoyable outcomes. Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. W. Clement Stone. To begin our own personal fear-conquering adventure, we first need to practice knowing that we are separate from the voice of fear. That frightful, scary voice that goes off in our heads is not us. We are the awareness that is aware of that voice. We are the listener that is listening, the watcher watching. If and when that voice causes a feeling of panic, terror, or anxiety in you, it's because you're buying into the dramatic story of this imaginary voice. We are allowing it to feed us a frightful experience. As we come to get to know and listen for this special voice, we will see it is separate from us. Then we can start knowing ourselves as the soul or awareness that is untouched by it. The more we realize that we are this pure awareness that is watching and listening from afar to the voice of fear, the easier it becomes to not get so involved in its drama. We then discover the power to make a clear decision about what we want to create in our future, and have just taken our first step to overcoming fear. Now, the next step is to get into the habit of taking one long, deep breath into your body anytime you feel fear. Taking one long, deep breath into your body anytime you feel fear. Hold this deep breath as long as you can and allow all the scary thoughts in your mind and fearful body sensations to burn through you. Give yourself permission for any fearful sensations to enter your body completely. This allowing experience becomes like a great fire that cleanses your fear channels and awakens your ego from its slumber. Let fear serve its purpose in keeping you from falling asleep at the wheel of your life. Allow your heart to pound, your blood rise to a boil, and your gut get wrenched because your mind believes something horrible is going to happen. Feel the fear and jump, dive, leap into it with wild abandon. Jaina's weapon. The more we can allow fear to come in, the more alive we will feel, and the faster fear leaves us. After the fire has burned through us, a great aliveness takes over. This is where tremendous clarity occurs. And because an avenue becomes an avenue where big life decisions can become effortless, fun, and easy. Anytime you allow fear to take over your entire body, watch what game your mind tends to play. It may try doing backflips to avoid feeling that you're really afraid will happen, of what you're really afraid will happen. Get to know yourself intimately. That is another divine purpose of fear, knowing oneself. Sometimes our only mode of transportation is a leap of faith. American hippie. Sometimes our only mode of transportation is a leap of faith. In other words, take the shot. Take the risk. Like I've stated numerous times, the older these bodies get, for some reason, the less risk we take. The more fear we gain. Watch the mind very closely and notice if there's one particular scene or movie frame from its magnificent horror story that it clings to more than others. Then take this movie clip out, view the entire scene from beginning to end, watch it with wonder, and let a simple, soft, pure awareness penetrate through it. Notice the bodily sensations that arise in every segment of your scary scene. You can allow room for excitement to enter by knowing yourself to be an eternal being who has watched millions of these types of movies. After you've played the scene through and felt the core of your fear has completely moved through your body, release the breath and let it all go. You may need several deep breaths to do this exercise, depending on the size of your fear. After the fire of fear has cleansed you, you'll find it easy to see this imaginary illusion with a positive, productive perspective. Fear only becomes powerful. Fear only becomes powerful when you give it power. Robin Sharma. When you give it power. When we look at this transformation, watch it, right? And then we have this illusion, this false information, false evidence appearing real. In other words, a lie being sold as the truth. The final step on this terrifying journey is befriending the voice of fear after the fire has left. Approach your fear as if it was an old friend who was trying to teach you something very important about yourself, on your life, or your life. Come to know and understand that this voice of fear is the path to freedom itself. Any experience which causes you to feel contracted, time-bound, hurried, rushed, or unable to relax means you have something to learn about true freedom. Once you truly know yourself as a spiritual being, these experiences will not touch you. As you get to know yourself, understand your habitual fear patterns, negative ideas your inner gremlin's addicted to. Then you can approach them with a very conscious, loving embrace. We can have compassion with ourselves and take that one baby step towards embracing our fears. That's all. That's really all we need. One baby step towards our fears instead of away from them. Do this, and you've just discovered you have nothing to fear. In a single moment, you can find freedom by merging with fear. With just one baby step, you can transform your inner world into a state of harmony and peace with what is. To truly understand something is to find peace with it. When we know and understand that fear is necessary to know love, you will start moving towards embracing it. When we know and understand that fear is necessary to know love, we will start moving towards embracing it. We simply cannot know what real love is unless we have known great fear. Fear is the polar opposite of love, and love is what propels us to move beyond our fears. We live in a universe that is filled with polarities. So without fear, love could not even exist. We need fear to know love, and we know love through embracing fear. Once we embrace all of our deepest and darkest fears, only then does peace prevail. Through this deep, complete surrender, we can know that who and what we truly are is fearless and cannot die. Once our hearts have accepted the fact that love and fear come together as one package deal, we will find tremendous peace as we flow in and out of them both. This peace is all we need to make our life's decisions based in love and not from any fear. Now, I invite you now to do a little work on yourself and stop and think about what you're truly afraid of in your life, this life, right now. Pick the worst thing you can think of and get it over with. Pick the worst thing that you can think of and get it over with. Notice how this fear shows up in your body. Now, dig a little deeper. See exactly what is causing you to be afraid. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Why are we afraid of this one particular thing and not something else? Look at how and when this fear shows up in your life. When you stop to look at the roots of your fear, you'll start to unravel the pattern. You'll see how it has been with you, weaving in and out of your entire life. Fear is a gift from this universe, a great teacher. Once you stop running from it, you'll start learning how to master it. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, but that we are powerful beyond measure. Marianne Williamson. All fear is excitement in disguise. Once we reprogram our brains to flip the negative thinking into positive thinking, the possibilities are endless. Fear is the most awesome awakening force in our lives, and is that one force that is teaching us how to be unstoppable and fearless. Now, if you'd like to reprogram your brain with fearless thinking, now is the time to do it. You see, all these things, all of these happenings that we've been taught, programmed, right? It's what my father taught me, or my uncle taught me, or my grandparents taught me, or my mother taught me. She said, he said. How many of us run or ignore our fears? Majority of us. It's not a bad thing, it's not negative. Have you ever experienced, I'm sure we all have at one time, shape, form, or another in the many lifetimes that we've inhabited, have you ever experienced a situation where you just said, you know, I'm going to face off with this fear. It keeps nagging me, keeps picking at me, you know, driving me crazy. Then I push it back and it subsides, goes away for a while. And then it comes back. You can feel it in your belly and goes all the way up and rushes you. You know, you can feel it in your heart. It just depends. This grand illusion of fear teaches us to face our fears. Give them a big smack on the lips, give them a great hug, and just say, okay, pass on by. You understand the root of it. You gave it power. You made it. No one else did. It's no different than this planet. No different than all the things that are bulging forth. What to believe, what not to believe. How to believe. What to ignore, what not to ignore. Then the fears rampant across the planet. But we give them power, like everything else. So you diffuse the fear by facing the fear. And it's an unknown, isn't it? That's why our life begins when? At the end of our comfort zone. We form through the ego mind that it believes is a safe harbor, which means we do the same thing every day, right? And every year, every day, every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year. Do the same thing, pretty much the same thing, right? Whether you're working, retired, or you just putzing around the house, whatever. You have a pattern. We establish a pattern with ourselves, and we don't go out that door. Don't step outside that circle, because it disrupts everything, right? It really does. It disrupts everything, and everything's miscombobulated. Have you ever moved? Right? We've all moved. And you move, and then everything's in disarray, right? You've got to put things here, put things there, get this situated, get that. But it all forms back into your comfort zone. You You duplicate the comfort zone. But as you move, and the more times you move, you learn. You learn things that you never thought of before. And you change things. You begin to realize that this life that we're in is very short, right? And from our perspective, we've been taught that, oh no, 90 years is long. It's a drop in the bucket. And obviously we're grateful for being in these bodies for that length of time. But does it make any sense to spend most of our energies and literally giving things power that negate us? That you imagine how many of us live in fear, stress, worry, anxiety, ongoing basis, sometimes not noticeable, sometimes a little noticeable, other times really noticeable. We worry about everything, and worry creates nothing. Really, just creates more worry. And sometimes we'll say to ourselves, this too shall pass. Like everything. Everything's fleeting. All things outside of us, of the gods we truly are, is all temporary. How do you know, as far as us giving power to things, how do you know that when you leave, you leave your house and you disconnect from it, then you move forward, whatever you're doing occupies your time. But what if everything in that house vanished? As soon as you step outside that door, it vanishes in the blink of the eye. What would happen if we all just left the planet? Went somewhere else. And all of the works of our civilization, all the buildings, all the infrastructure, what do you think would happen to it? It would eventually vanish. Our power on this planet is great. It keeps everything together. It really does. And when we're in harmony with ourselves, then everything else is in harmony, inside and outside. And see, when we look at these fears, what are they? They are created by the ego mind as a thought. And the thought comes in, and we either give it power, right? And we experience it, or we let it float right through us. We stand there, and it's coming towards us, right? And we just let it flow right through us. We don't fight. We don't try to stop it. We just let it go. And it'll float right in us and out of us. As more of us on this planet choose to become more knowledgeable, we've identified the fact that ignorance is evil, knowledge is power. So we choose to gain knowledge, view things as a watcher, observer, not a judger. Most of us operate with the ego mind as a judger. We judge things. The hardest we are is on ourselves when we judge ourselves. Not good. That's a no-no. And majority of us on this planet don't know what it is to love oneself. How do we love others and everything eventually when we don't know how to love ourselves? Isn't that interesting? Again, that's not a negative. It is a positive because it opens up a whole new understanding for us. It's not something that dogs us. It's something that we look at and say, I really haven't given a lot of time to my God that I am within this body. And when you really sit in meditation and contemplation, you figure, no, you haven't. You going to be punished for that? No. But it is a good thing. Why? Because it's shown all of us. We're done with that out there. That doesn't mean that we're not going to step in, step out at times. We are not of this world. We are in it, but we are not of it. Moving ourselves into an awake understanding and awareness. Choosing that you say to yourself that you are going to do the opposite of what you've been doing, which is what? Stating to the universe what you don't want. You say to the universe, you say you don't want fear. You don't want fear to enter your life. You don't want fear, period. You want it gone, okay? And you say it with gusto. The universe responds and says, here's more fear. Especially now, right? There's plenty of stuff, more than ever, for us to give fear power. Now we give fear power. We say, well, I gave this fear power. Now I'm going to face it and basically diffuse it. You're going to diffuse fear. Use fear, right, to orchestrate certain things. Having fear generates love. Remember, they're polar opposites, fear and love. And it's interesting because so many of us, again, how we've been programmed, right, by other people's thoughts, when we become aware to a certain extent, and we say to ourselves, well, all this stuff, what is my decision? What is my choice? How do I wish or want this planet to be? How do I wish or want or desire my life to be? Understanding that all of us deserve the best of everything. No exceptions. We all deserve the best of everything. So does everybody else. Humanity, this civilization, has been so browbeaten that it doesn't identify that. Too disheveled, too living in fear. You see where our power goes? And then to flip the switch and to say to yourself, I no longer care to create this life that I am in. I am deeply grateful for this very moment in this life. I don't care to have this type of life. I desire the life of. And then you begin to state to the universe the life you want to live. focusing and getting into habit on what you do want. It's real easy. It's real you may say, well, you focus on what you want all day long, all the time. You always have. Maybe ego mind and everything, you're convincing yourself of that, but then when you become totally honest with yourself, you say, you know what? I am giving more attention to what I don't want. It's a belief, truly, for all of us. And it isn't something that's been exercised very much at all through our existence. It's a belief. It's believing in yourself, having confidence in yourself, trust and faith in yourself and the universe. You have no doubt. You have no question of a doubt whatsoever. And this isn't arrogance. That's ego mind. This is heart-mindedness. This is through love, joy, peace. And you know it. It's like someone who says to you, James, how do you know this? And you just say, I do. I just do, and I know it. Well, when do you expect this all to happen for you? I have no idea. I just know it will. And I leave it at peace at that. Maybe I revisit it on occasion. Wow, geez. And then they say they can't see how anybody could do that. Silly. And the attitude is that nothing ever happens for us. Everything happens to us. See? Then that's how it will be. How is it that we have become so distrusting, not only with ourselves, but with everything else? Have you noticed? No. It's like we've become so cynical because you can sense this. We all can through our heart minds, through the gods that we are in these bodies. We can sense it. Can't you feel it? It's not like you have to. You just do. It's like, since we're all one, we're going to feel it in different ways. Can you feel it, though, from time to time? Can you feel the disenchantment, the befuddledness, the fears, the angers, the aggressions, the hatred? Can you feel that? The worry, the stress, the anxiety, right? Now, when you say to yourself, I'm going to focus on what I want from this day forward. So, not to say that you won't move over to ego mind again, and you just constantly are, I'm going to focus on what I want in this life, not what I don't want. So I see all the inhabitants of this planet in complete joy, peace, and tranquility. I see them all that they have gone within, and they're embracing and discovering the gods that they are within these bodies. I see them embracing the heart mind and finally laying to rest the ego mind. I see them working together as a unit, as one, embracing the responsibility and the stewards of this planet, embracing the responsibility of our existences in these bodies on this planet. We are the managers of this planet. We are the managers of the civilization. We manage. We assist. We help. We don't do it in the old ways. We did it because of what? Because of want and need, because of expectations of reciprocation. By, I'm going to do this for this, and then I expect to get something back from it. Or kind of in the back of your mind, you're feeling it. You're not just, you're not really verbalizing it. You're feeling it. It's like, well, if you're going to do this for so-and-so, then what's so-and-so going to do for you? That's the old thinking of caged mentality. Controlled and manipulated through other people's thoughts. The wanting, the having, the needing, the control, the power, the self-annihilation, anti-civilization, civilization of the universe, polar opposites. But to know this and understand it is the power. Not to judge it, not to make comparisons, but to understand. We want this planet, as managers and stewards, we want this planet to be in harmony, with peace, joy. Because as long as we're in these organic bodies, how do you think that will affect these bodies? And likeness, like attracts like. So the bodies become at peace and at ease. We embrace the gods that we are within the body. We know that we are the driver of the body. And we know that we are the God within the body. And that we are experiencing physical material life. And we're learning and experiencing. If you looked at one gigantic body, okay? Endless. This body was all the universes. Quantum universes, sub-quantum, sub-quantum. Right? Everything and anything. Nothing and everything. And would you say that that body would ever stop learning, would ever stop gaining knowledge? No. We represent parts of that body. We are the essence of the body, and the body is the essence of us. Not these physical bodies, but all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Which we are always learning. You could be 3,000 years old and learning to beat the band. Experiencing and learning. What else is there? To park yourself somewhere and cogitate? No, it's self-discovery. You're saying to yourself that you are not going to constantly attach yourself to your comfort zone. You're going to do little things to go outside the comfort zone. You're going to take risks, right? And to see the fear that is generated is what? It's the unknown. The fear is the unknown. You fear, if you aren't informed, right? Really, if you really don't have a couple of things here and there, and then something comes along that you feel like maybe I'll take that step. Maybe I'll jump out there. But when you have no inclination, no tidbits here and there, the likelihood of you doing it is slim to none. Have you ever been in a situation where you get uncomfortable and you say, maybe, yeah, and then you say, okay, I think I'm going to go after that. I'm going to do that. And all along, after you've made that decision, you're iffy, right? You have an uneasy feeling. You feel a little stressed. Should I do this with everything and this and that and this and that? And then you say, yeah, I'm going for it. It's an unknown. No idea where it's going to end up, but I'm going for it. And it's not comfortable. You see, it isn't comfortable. And this is what gives us that uneasy feeling after we've made the decision. Maybe I shouldn't have made it. Then we spend time trying to talk ourselves out of that decision, right? And then we try to justify it and rationalize it. That's the ego mind. That's not the heart mind. Now, someone said to you, this is really fun, right? You say, what is fun? Everything right now. Everything on the planet. It's all fun. Most people would look and say, you need to check up from the neck up. This is, and they say, this is horrible, and it's rotten, and it's lousy, and it's frightening, and focusing on what you don't want. Some people get irritated. Someone says to them, you're focusing on what you don't want. I just making a lighthearted suggestion that maybe you might want to try the other way. Do the other way. Don't just try it, do it. And what you do is you do the other way, which means focusing on what you do want. That's fun, right? That's exciting. But the ego mind says, well, you're not going to get that. Why are you focusing on that? You know that's not going to happen. This is going on in your mind, okay? Now, when you have lovingly made the decision for yourself that you're going to focus on the life that you do want, focus on things that you do want, unobtrusively, then it just flows. You don't need to go announce it to everybody. It just flows for you. You're not betting on the come. That's expectation and attachment. You know that it has already happened. It's just not in front of you yet. And the exciting part is, and just about all the time, the universe comes up with a different version than the one that you desired or wanted. This is the one that you put out to the universe, right? You didn't have any doubt. You didn't have any expectations or attachments. You had total faith, confidence, and trust in yourself, and exactly with the universe. So there was no interruption. There was no obstacle of the ego mind. It was through the heart mind, and boom. Okay? And then when it's delivered, you kind of don't recognize it. Some parts you go, oh, well, this seems real familiar. This almost is like when I sent this one thought out to the universe, this request, it looks like it, but there's a lot of things that have changed about it. And then when you just embrace it, you say, oh, okay, now I see. Now I see. Now I understand. We focus on ourselves and our inner journey. We've already had our outer journey for many lifetimes. Now we focus on our inner journey, and we balance ourselves and the love that we have for ourselves and the deep appreciation, gratitude that we have for ourselves and everything around us, and the deep eternal love of the gods that we are in these bodies that never die. That's where our power is now being focused on. The lives that we want to live, we want joyous, happy lives. We throw in, obviously, we're always going to throw in things little curveballs here and there that we ourselves don't identify with. Where'd that come from? I manifested it. I manifested it so things wouldn't get too dry or boring. And then it all connects, see? The solution to it. And then if fear bubbles up from it, you embrace the fear dissipates and is gone. This is a whole brand new direction for this civilization. It will allow the civilization to expand and advance the first time ever, rather than to be bottled up and controlled through illusion. And everybody that listens to these meditations, participates in them on this planet, are exactly what they're doing. These meditations transform every one of us in a way that we never thought through the ego mind possible. And every single day, that's what they're doing. And they have spread all throughout this planet in one way, shape, form, or another, increasing the high energy and high frequency of deep eternal love, gratitude, love for oneself in all things. We've learned that the conflict, right? We've seen it. We've experienced it many times. Conflict, murder, death, kill, destruction, deviance, manipulation, and greed. We know what that is. None of us do not know what that is. We all are very familiar with it. We also know that it is an illusion created about things that we focus on that we don't want. Okay? Now, I believe that civilization has come full circle to the understanding of saying, right on the precipice of saying, I have decided and I am devoted now to the journey within me to discover once and for all the God that I am within this body. And through the heart-mind, the planet becomes transformed. The civilization is a new earth and a whole different way of enjoying these bodies in this life. I'll join you in a meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. Remain still. When you cannot find enough love, then relax and don't try to keep on looking. It is your looking that causes you not to find. Rest deeply into yourself today. Do this one thing all day long, and you will soon be surprised how much your heart expands. Soon, you will feel you have arrived at the infinite source of self-love and reconnection. When this occurs, let your inner struggle fully come into all the love that they can until you cannot handle it anymore. Just let your struggling parts relax. Rest deeper into the feeling of the infinite source of love. It's all happening inside you. Now is the time to bring all your inner orphan parts home. It's going to feel so good. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. Be in absolute gratitude at all times. Practice and be in gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness with yourself at all times, practicing. We will return here Tuesday, February 21, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call.